Hey guys, Dave here. So continuing on with the fan requested episodes, you guys have wanted to see a boa episode, so I'm going to head down to Temecula, California right now, and I'm going to meet with Mike Roscoe at the Reptile Shop. These guys are working with some of the most amazing boa morphs out there, and they work with so much more. They have amazing hog noses and some of the coolest gecko morphs I've ever seen. So I recently just launched a vlog channel, and I'll put that link in the description below, but I vlogged all the geckos and the hog noses there, so do check out that channel as well. If you like it, please subscribe to that channel as well. There's videos there on behind the scenes of how I film these episodes, things that I see on my travels that we don't see on this channel. So yeah, check that out. Again, link is in the description. Give it a like, give it a subscribe if you'd like. So anyway, but for now, let's go check out some of the hottest boa morphs out there at the Reptile Shop here on Zilla Presents HerpersTV, the Reptile Channel episodes.
I'm a herper, I'm a herper, I'm a herper, and I like it.
So my name is Mike Roscoe, and here I pretty much work with the boas, which we're in the boa room here. We strive to work with a bunch of BCI morphs. We primarily work with VPI and Sharp here at this facility, and we can show you around some of the cool stuff we're working with. And these are all litter mates here. These are a production of a visual VPI T-positive jungle bred to a Hypo red Panther het T female. There's a VPI T-positive jungle there, and then these are all sun glows, and they have different varying amounts of color. That litter came out phenomenal, and I'm really pleased with the results. So this is a VPI T-positive red Panther jungle. So VPI T-positives are a T-positive albino. So like you see the yellow looking albinos, this is the opposite. This is what they call a caramel albino. And the red Panther lineage is a pastel lineage that was bred into BCIs. And this is the result of line breeding for color and into the VPI T-positive albino gene. This is also a red Panther VPI T-positive, but this is called a sun glow. This is the combination of red Panther pastel, VPI T-positive, and Hypo. All right, here we have a sharp sun glow jungle, and it's from the pastel line that looks, everybody's calling purple these days, but this one is not a purple line. This is just one of the ones we produced this year. It's actually, the genes in this particular animal are sharp strain albino, Hypo Jungle. And you see it's got a lot of like neon looking highlights in there and a lot of good contrast and color. This is actually a holdback, one of the very few holdbacks from this year. When you're talking about albinos, you have T-positive and T-negative. The T stands for tyrosinine, and the negative is the reduction in pigment, and the T-positive is the presence of pigment but in caramel albino form. So here we have a sharp albino, really good quality. It's a nice contrast, you got a lot of good pattern, got a lot of good color, and it's just a regular plain Jane sharp albino. Here we have a Hypo Jungle that's possible to have VPI T-positive and anorine. The jungle trait is a co-dominant trait. You're never going to find two that are the same. You always get something different, there's always variety, and that's one of the reasons why I really like the jungle trait. We have one more badass baby to show you before we move on to the adult. And this is a VPI T-positive IMG. It's a female. And we haven't decided if we want to keep her or let her go yet. And she's also a possible jungle. VPI T-positive is a T-positive albino. So you have two completely contradicting genes, and one where you produce a solid black snake and one where you produce a T-positive caramel albino. When you combine these two, you end up with something that looks like this. So total in all, adult boas, we've probably got about 100. We've probably got about 60 females and 40 males right now. Every year on average, we produce about 300 to 400 boas. Yeah. Now we're gonna go into the adult room. Here's the adult room. So here's where all the breeders are. We've got adult females on this side, breeder males on this side, and breeding season is about underway. We're just starting to pair males with females. We usually pair in about the second week of December, typically. Some of them go a little earlier, some of them go a little later, but we're just in the mid-swing of things, so we can actually maybe throw a couple of males in today. Here we have a female sharp albino jungle. The genes involved in this one are sharp strain albino and jungle. That's it, just the two. And she's got a lot of contrast. She's a really good looking female. Here we have a couple of breeders. We have a female Hypo Motley Het Sharp being bred by a male Sunglow Jungle. This is one of my favorite pairings from last year. We made some phenomenal Sunglow Jungle mottlys last year with these. Let's check out this ghost female. So this is a ghost 100% het BPI female. So this is a sharp Sunglow Jungle. He's a breeder male and we're hoping to get some great babies out of him this season. So the combinations of genes in this is T-negative sharp albino, Hypo, and Jungle. So this is an Aztec pos het VPI T positive and anery. We're hoping to breed her to a super Hypo Jungle 100% het VPI T positive and anery to get VPI T positive Snow Glow Jungle Aztecs this year. This is actually another really good looking anery here. And this year we're probably going to run a VPI T positive jungle male to her to make some really good quality jungle double het VPI T positives and anery, which makes snows. So this is anery 100% het VPI T positive. We're hoping to make some really nice VPI T positive snow combos with her this year. So this is just a big old classic jungle and she's not the most friendly girl, so watch yourself. She's phenomenally solid. She had last year off. We plan on running her this year. Not sure to what yet, but she makes really good solid jungle babies and they always come out nice and healthy and fat. I come in here about, just this room particularly, about 3 hours a day. I come in here about 5 o'clock in the morning. I make my rounds, I check waters, I check females, I check males, I check pairings. I think the number one thing that we do in this room that we have success from is consistency. Consistency with feeding, consistency with cleaning, consistency with the cycling and the seasoning for when we pair everything. Typically we pair in the first or 2 weeks of December, and then that's usually our first round. After that we hit a second round of pairing, which is usually early to mid-January. And that pretty much covers our females. That gives us about a month window for when babies start dropping later in the season. Kind of depends on how long it takes for the male to really work his way to get the female to ovulate. We pair 1-to-1, usually one male to one female. So we should, we really strive to have a 1-to-1 ratio. We seem that, sometimes we try to spread a good male a little thin, but we always make sure that if he's not doing too well, we'll pull him and put him back in the racks and get him back up to size before we do anything with them. So you want to kind of defer to where these are from, which is Colombia. These are all BCI, boa constrictor and parator, and they don't have a big cycle. So what we do is we let the natural cycle of the season. We don't adjust the heat to compensate for the coolness in the winter. What we do is we let the room naturally drop down. It drops down to probably about, I'd say the low to mid 70s in the winter at night. And then it's about 82, 83 during the day. We have a hot side at about 91, 92. And we let them naturally cycle with our natural climate here in Southern California, which is not too drastic, and hopefully we try to keep it similar to their where they're at from Colombia. I say the key is consistency, consistent cleaning, consistent feeding, getting the females back on track. After they have a litter, they're depleted, so you got to make sure you stay on those feedings. A lot of people, after the breeding season comes, they get a lot of babies, they get overwhelmed, they don't really get in there and get those females pumped up back the way they should be. And what we do is we make sure we just keep it consistent. Keep the meals coming in on a consistent basis, so everything's scheduled. We feed the males every 2 weeks, off season, and then while they're breeding we feed them every 3 weeks. We feed the females every week right after they drop. For the remainder of the season we feed them every other week. And then after, coming close to the season, we jump it back up to every week to try to get the females that need a little more weight on them back up to size. And then during the season, we feed them every 2 weeks as well. After they ovulate and they've given us a post-ovulation shed, we stop feeding. They may get 1 or 2 meals within the first couple of weeks after they ovulate, but that's about it. Next is one of my favorite animals in the shop. This is a red Panther T-positive BPI Jungle. And this one is an Aztec Jungle Het Sharp female. So there's a couple of strains of albino. There's sharp strain, call strain, and then there's T-positive strains like BPI or Boa Carmel. This is a sharp strain of T-negative albino. All right, next we have a Storia. Now this is a 4-year-old female Storia. We're planning on running her this season. We're just trying to get her beefed up and ready to rock and roll. Storia is a codominant mutation, and it's one gene that has a lot of bang, just in one simple gene. There's no combinations here. This is just one simple codominant gene. So the genetics came from Rich Eiley at salmonboa.com originally, and he started working with him to prove that it was a viable mutation. It's proved to be codom. He produced with females, and now there's continued to work with many other people, including myself. I think this year we're going to give a run at a VPIT positive snow male to make Storia double-head VPI and Attery. This is a relatively new morph, and they're still upwards of $10,000 a piece. So this is a VPIT positive snow. It's a male. It's one of our breeders this year, and he is in complete blue. So he's a washed out version of his former self. All right, razor upper holdback sharp Hypo Jungle. It's a female, and we were hoping she'd be ready this year, but we're gonna give her the year off and let her go next season. But she's phenomenal, neon and bright. I really like her. So this is a VPIT positive Sunglow. A lot of people may think it's jungle, but it's not. It's got a really cool pattern. So here we have a super Hypo Jungle, 100% het VPIT positive and Attery. And this is the male that I was talking about breeding to the big Aztec girl earlier to produce VPIT positive Snow Glow Aztec Jungles. And he's great looking. You can see the really reduced hue that he has. He's real light colored, and that's because he's a super hypo. And we proved him to be super last season. I've been doing this since I was a kid, catching reptiles and keeping them. And I got a rosy boa when I was about 7 or 8. And from then on, it was kind of just a passion from there on out. I've been doing this for I did my first show in '97. And I've been on the show track doing shows here in Southern California, most of California for a long time. And I started off with colubrids, and now I work with colubrids, boas, balls, and an assortment of other stuff. And I'm going to be around for a while.
You know, guys, I never really talk about the occupational hazards of filming for this channel. Every time I go to a breeder like Mike at the Reptile Shop, I always come back going, boas. I need to get some boas. And I also said that with the geckos that they have. You can see that in the vlog I mentioned earlier. But I'm surprised that this place isn't just full of racks and cages. And anyway, occupational hazard of filming for the Reptile channel. But if you like this video, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, leave a comment below if you like this video. If you want to see other videos, if you have requests for other videos that we should do comment below. And we will see you here next time for more awesome reptile videos here on Zilla Presents HerpersTV, the Reptile channel.